I'd like to go over a certain class of consonants known as Begad-kephat letters. Begad-kephat letters. Now, the Begad-kephat letters include Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Kaf, Pei, and Tav. Just these six. Now, what makes a Begad-kephat letter what it is that they can take a Dagesh lennae. There are two kinds of Dageshim. There's the so-called Dagesh lennae, or Dagesh katon. That's the small Dagesh. And there is the Dagesh forte, or the Dagesh gadol. That's the great Dagesh, or the strong Dagesh. Now, the Dagesh lennae and the Dagesh forte look exactly the same, but they function differently in the Begad-kephat letters. Any other letter that takes a Dagesh, let's say a mem, it has to be a Dagesh forte or Dagesh gadol. It cannot be a Dagesh lennae because only the Begad-kephat letters can take Dagesh lennae. Every other letter that has a Dagesh, let's say in a shin, it has to be a Dagesh forte. What's the difference between a Dagesh forte and a Dagesh lennae? Well, they look exactly the same, but a Dagesh forte means there's actually two beits represented, and the Masoretes very efficiently simply put a Dagesh within the beit to mean that it's doubled. However, in the case of the Begad-kephat letters, when there's a Dagesh, it could be a Dagesh forte, or it could be a Dagesh lennae. And in the case of a Dagesh lennae, that simply means it has a different pronunciation, so that a beit without a Dagesh sounds like the, like violin, whereas a beit with a Dagesh sounds like b, as in boy. Now, in ancient pronunciation, all six of the Begad-kephat letters had a different sound when they had a Dagesh and when they didn't. However, using modern pronunciation, only three of the Begad-kephat letters have a different sound when they have a Dagesh, namely Beit and Kaf and Pei. So that when you have a beit without a Dagesh, v with b, a kaf without a Dagesh, ch, as in bach, and with a Dagesh, k, as in kite or kick. A pei without a Dagesh, f, as in phone, with a Dagesh, p, as in pie. The issue, then, is to be able to determine in each case when there's a Dagesh in a Begad-kephat letter, whether it's a Dagesh lennae or a Dagesh forte. Now again, if there's a Dagesh in a pei, it's going to have the P sound like pi, whether it's a Dagesh lennae or a Dagesh forte. So phonetically, there's no difference. But there are some grammatical differences that will need to be able to tell the difference when it is a Dagesh lennae and a Dagesh forte. So how does one know the difference? Well, if the Begad-kephat letter with a Dagesh is preceded by a vowel, that means it's a Dagesh forte. If it's preceded by a consonant, then it's a Dagesh lennae. If we take the word diber. Here you'll notice that there is a Dagesh lennae in the dalet, signifying there's only one dalet. We know that because there's no vowel sound before diber, he spoke, so therefore it has to be a Dagesh lennae. However, the Dagesh in the beit must be a Dagesh forte because it comes directly after a vowel sound, di-ber. Because it comes after a vowel sound, it must be, in fact, a Dagesh forte, signifying that there's actually two beits there. So if we were to transliterate this and break it apart, we would see that the word is made up of dib, ber, with two beits, diber. Now we don't have to sound it out like that, dib, ber. We would just sound it out, diber. But the important point to notice here is the difference between the Dagesh lennae and the Dagesh forte. You'll need to keep this in mind. It's important not for pronunciation, but in terms of doing different kinds of grammatical things that we'll need to do.